we should probably get round to ranking where this team features. We have 5 categories of greatness. We don't need to go too far down the list on this one. So at the top, we have all-time greats, true greats behind that, followed by touch greatness, edge greatness, finger greats. Jamie, I'm pretty sure I know where you're going with this one, but where are you going with this one?
Well, I'm going to flavour it a little bit. So obviously we've got 2 incredible protagonists in Novo and Erbstein, who are ahead of their time, and they have a vision that we're quite familiar with nowadays, but not so familiar back in the 1940s. They're only one of 4 teams to have won 5 successive championships. We've mentioned Juventus, who have done it twice, also Inter Milan. They accumulated the most points in a season when it was 2 points for a win, 65. In fact, they were getting over 60 points regularly when they were winning their 5 championships, which is quite incredible. Scored 125 goals in a single season. That still hasn't been beaten in Italian football. And I don't think it will ever be beaten in Italian football. I think that record is pretty safe and secure. And they also, up until 06-07, when Inter Milan finally beat it, they had the most wins in a Serie A season with 28. And Inter Milan in 06-07 went on and won 30 games and beat that record. It's just been beaten a few times since. Incredible players. We've just touched the surface. I've got my little team sheet here, which I did, which I could have bored you through. But, most of these guys in this team are all playing way over 100 games. Bacci Galuppo, a goalkeeper, we haven't even talked about him, was a charismatic character, along with Martinelli and I think it's Ballerin. They were like the nice guys. They were called the Trioniza, which basically translates as nice guys, 3 nice guys. They're all playing over 100, 150. I mean, Gabetto scores 125 goals in 225 games after having a brilliant career with Juventus. He goes on to have a better career with Torino. It's just a fantastic collection of players, and I'm rambling on to the point of where you knew I was going to be from the very beginning, and that is Torino, 1940s all-time great.
Phil, where do you put this team?
Yeah, I think I agree. It's remarkable. In 5 winning seasons, Torino scored 483 goals, conceded just 165. I think Jamie mentioned only really Juventus in the 30s and Milan in the 90s have come close to that record, in some cases exceeding it in places. It's still pretty remarkable. The characters involved, from the players like Mazzola through to Novo, but particularly for me, Erbstein and his backstory. I wonder what he could have achieved if he'd stayed at Torino and if he'd been allowed to kind of coach the team for a good number of years. Maybe today we'd be talking about the 2 Milan teams, Juventus and Torino, as the kind of dominant forces in Italian football. Because with that amount of technical and organisational prowess, there would have been no stopping them.
It is very difficult to see how that team, how its dominance would have stopped in any other way, actually, other than through tragedy, actually. The sort of commitment to renewing the side and the visionary approach to Novo in particular, I think, kind of illustrates that they were head and shoulders above anyone else playing at the time, and you just think that would have carried on. The tragedy obviously defines this story. That's what kind of takes it to a sort of a different level. I don't think you should underplay the achievements of this side, I don't think you'll find any dissenters from either me or Phil. So Torino, the 1940s giants of Italian football, all-time great.